Hello, basketball people, we have news. Let's go to more news about the Golden State Warriors. I ask you to give a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, as I am a Warriors fan. The Warriors are interested in 3 veteran players to create a more balanced roster and a stronger rotation. The Warriors are looking to sign Al Horford, De'Anthony Melton, and Seth Curry. These 3 players have distinct skill sets that will help the Warriors both defensively and offensively. The Warriors are considering signing Al Horford, De'Anthony Melton, and Seth Curry, who could finally team up with his brother Steph, after handling Jonathan Kuminga's free agency. The Golden State Warriors are reportedly eyeing 3 potential signings: Al Horford, De'Anthony Melton, and Seth Curry, according to ESPN's Anthony Slater. These moves could come after the team resolves Jonathan Kuminga's restricted free agency. While Horford and Melton have been previously linked to Golden State, Seth Curry's name is a new addition to the conversation. Slater noted there's mutual interest between the Warriors and Seth, describing him as a potential bench shooting option with family tie. Despite being brothers, Seth and Steph Curry have never played together in a regular season NBA game. They were briefly teammates during the 2013 preseason, when Seth signed a non-guaranteed contract with Golden State. He appeared in 6 preseason games before being waived in October of that year. Since then, the Curry brothers have only met as opponents, including a memorable showdown in the 2019 Western Conference Finals when Seth was with the Portland Trail Blazers and Steph led the Warriors. Last season, 34-year-old Seth played for the Charlotte Hornets, averaging 6.5 points and 1.7 rebounds while shooting 45.6% from three-point range in 68 games. Over his career, Seth has averaged 10.0 points per game on 43.3% shooting from deep across 550 games with Memphis, Cleveland, Phoenix, Sacramento, Dallas, Portland, Philadelphia, Brooklyn, and Charlotte. If he joins Golden State, the Warriors would be his 10th NBA team, and the first he shares with his older brother, Steph, a franchise legend and 4-time NBA champion. If the aforementioned signings do not materialize, the Warriors have 2 other options. The Golden State Warriors have yet to make a move this offseason as they wait to resolve the restricted free agency, and the Warriors are comfortable waiting around for it. But until that is resolved, any other free agency move will have to wait. The belief that they'll add Al Horford and De'Anthony Melton has been overstated at this point, but rumors continue to fly that those moves will happen at some point. Horford does have a lot of interest around the NBA, though, and he could also choose to retire. In case the Warriors and Horford can't come to an agreement, Brett Siegel of Clutch Points has reported that the Warriors have a couple of options they can pivot to. If, by some chance, Siegel started, Horford decides he no longer wants to wait on the Warriors and he ultimately retires or joins another team, Trey Lyles and Chris Boucher would become backup plans for this team. Until Horford signs, these 2 are forced to wait in free agency. Lyles has been with the Sacramento Kings since the 2021-22 season, averaging 7.5 ppg while shooting 36.2% from three-point range. That perimeter shooting as a 6 feet 9 inches forward is what has Golden State interested, and they desperately need frontcourt depth. Boucher actually started his career in Golden State, playing 1 game in the 2017-18 season after signing a 2-way contract with the Warriors. Since then, he's been with the Toronto Raptors, blossoming as a versatile forward. Over his last 5 seasons, he's averaged 9.8 ppg and 5.5 rpg while shooting 34.1% from 3. His three-point shooting comes and goes, but when he's hitting his shots, he could be a perfect fit with the Warriors again. Jonathan Kuminga considering shock free agency move that will sting Warriors. This would be brutal for both sides. The Golden State Warriors still hope to retain Jonathan Kuminga as his restricted free agency drags on, but it also appears growingly apparent that the young forward would like a fresh start elsewhere. ESPN's Anthony Slater reported on Thursday that Mike Dunleavy Jr. and the Warriors made a concerted effort in trying to sign Kuminga this week, only for offers to be rejected by the 22-year-old and his camp who are still exploring sign-and-trade opportunities. If Kuminga doesn't want to sign any of Golden State's current multi-year offers, And if the franchise doesn't see anything of value in a sign-and-trade, then there is a shock third option that the former 7th overall pick could pursue. Jonathan Kuminga could shockingly take the qualifying offer. The Warriors had to present a one-year, $7.9 million qualifying offer to make Kuminga a restricted free agent in the first place. Usually these are just a mere formal piece of the process and are never signed, but it may actually become a huge factor in these current negotiations. Signing the qualifying offer would give Kuminga a no-trade clause and allow him to become an unrestricted free agent next offseason, something he and his camp are legitimately considering according to Slater. If he goes that route, Kuminga would be willingly giving up a chunk of immediate money but would return on an expiring deal with an inherent no-trade clause, giving him the most level of long-term career control he's ever had. It's something his side is legitimately considering, sources said. Slater. Whether it is an actual possibility or simply a leverage play remains to be seen. Kuminga and his camp could theoretically use the threat of signing the qualifying offer and hope that the Warriors accept a less than desirable sign-and-trade offer from a team he wishes to join, with the Phoenix Suns and Sacramento Kings most prominently linked as potential destinations. The idea of having a disgruntled player who could just leave for nothing in 12 months would be a real sting to the franchise, particularly when you consider the countless times Golden State could have traded Kuminga for real value over the last 4 years. However, signing the qualifying offer also presents enormous risk to Kuminga to the point where the Warriors may not simply believe in that threat. As much as Kuminga could make things difficult next season, so too could the team in impacting his hopes of getting a large new contract from a rival team in free agency. No team seemingly around the league wants to offer $25 to $30 million per year right now. And why would that change after another year in which the Warriors could just give Kuminga a limited role or bench him entirely? Signing the qualifying offer would be a nightmare solution for both parties, making it a real shock if that's the path that Kuminga and his camp do ultimately go down. You are here, home/sports/NBA/insider reveals trade proposal for Jonathan Kuminga. Insider reveals trade proposal for Jonathan Kuminga. Jonathan Kuminga's time with the Golden State Warriors appears to be reaching its end. The young forward has grown increasingly frustrated with his role after being pushed out of Steve Kerr's playoff rotation last season. What started as a contract negotiation has evolved into something bigger. He wants a guaranteed starting position, but the Warriors remain uncommitted to his future and continue to evaluate their options. One team reportedly has emerged as the most aggressive suitor for Kuminga in recent weeks. The Sacramento Kings are willing to part ways with Devin Carter, Dario Saric and a protected first-round pick for Jonathan Kuminga, but the Warriors declined, according to Brett Siegel. But Keegan Murray and Keon Ellis are two players the Warriors would likely want in a potential sign-and-trade, Courtside Buzz wrote on X. The standoff has created problems beyond just Kuminga's future. Golden State cannot pursue other free agents, such as Al Horford or DeAnthony Melton, until they resolve his status. The Warriors are demanding significant value, and Sacramento reportedly refused to include Keegan Murray and Keon Ellis in any potential trade. Meanwhile, the Phoenix Suns are also monitoring the situation. Kuminga's representatives appear willing to wait out the process, and the restricted free agent holds some leverage despite his limited options. This impasse could drag well into the offseason, so the Warriors need to decide whether keeping an unhappy player is worth the ongoing complications. Meanwhile, Kuminga continues waiting for the starting role he believes he deserves. Warriors make their demands clear for Jonathan Kuminga to any team interested in a sign-and-trade deal. Jonathan Kuminga's trade saga may be nearing an end as Warriors insider Anthony Slater lists down their precise demands to any interested in a sign-and-trade for the 22-year-old starlet. The prolonged trade saga of Warriors forward Jonathan Kuminga may be coming to an end as ESPN insider Anthony Slater confirms their demands from any team interested in a sign-and-trade for the restricted free agent. On Brian Windhorst's Hoops Collective podcast, Slater revealed that the Warriors' ask from any team can be simplified into a list of 3 demands: a young player, a first-round pick, and no bad contracts. Part of the reason that a sign-and-trade hasn't been done for Kuminga. There's been, particularly the Kings and Suns, I would say, have been the most aggressive is because the Warriors have been pretty steadfast in their requirement of at least a first-round pick. They also want a young player, and they don't want to take on a bad contract, said Slater as he addressed the Warriors' asset management issue. And that's what's really, held a lot of this stuff up, cause it's like not only does the team have to want to sign Jonathan Kuminga, convince Jonathan Kuminga to take this dollar amount, and he has high ambitions for his next contract, but also they then have to call the Warriors and make a pretty decent value trade where you're giving up a pick and a young player, that type of stuff. That's why so much of this stuff is just in gridlock. Just last night, NBA insider Shams Charania confirmed that Kuminga is in no rush to accept any offers from the Warriors and seemingly values himself worthy of a $25 million per year contract. And the Warriors have also refused any offers from the Kings and Suns, among other teams interested in Kuminga. Kuminga averaged 15.3 points, 4.6 rebounds, and 2.2 assists for the Warriors last season. Midway through the NBA playoffs, reports claimed that Kuminga and Steve Kerr, the Warriors' head coach, have a strained relationship, which could partly be the reason why Kuminga would have likely played his last game in a Warriors jersey if things had gone his way in the free agency market. The Kings and the Suns are only the frontrunners in a list of multiple teams reportedly interested in Kuminga. However, for any sign and trade to happen, Kuminga first needs to accept an offer. Otherwise, he may be put in a position where he has no choice but to take the $7.9 million qualifying offer from the Warriors if he wants to continue this year in the NBA. It is seeming less likely by each passing day that Kuminga will be able to find a team that not only matches his demands but also matches the Warriors' demands in a deal for Kuminga. In my opinion, this information coming from a reliable insider like Slater only goes to show that even the Warriors now seem desperate to find Kuminga a new home while being adamant on getting the right value in return for him. At some point, either of the parties will need to compromise here. But it seems for now, the Warriors have all the leverage. Warriors should target 6 feet 10 inches center with recent NBA Finals experience in free agency. There aren't a lot of sexy names left on the best available NBA free agents list. The Warriors are likely to land 2 of them, Al Horford and DeAnthony Melton. Still, are a 40-year-old and a role player coming off an ACL tear all that exciting? Not really. Still, the Warriors don't have those deals locked up, which means they may need to look at some other players who are still available. If the Warriors don't end up landing Al Horford, they certainly will need a big man. One center who is still available on the market could be an intriguing Warriors free agent target. Thomas Bryant, who just played real minutes in the NBA Finals, is still available on the free agent market. While getting Bryant might not be the top priority for the Warriors, if Horford falls through, they may need to pivot quickly. Bryant played 56 games for the Eastern Conference champion Indiana Pacers last season. He averaged 6.9 points, 3.9 rebounds, and shot 51.5% from the field. Bryant also has shown that he has an increasingly reliable three-point shot. He is a near 35% three-point shooter. These numbers aren't all that different from Horford's. Bryant is also 13 years younger than Horford and could still improve. That being said, despite his NBA Finals experience, Bryant isn't battle-tested like Horford. Horford will bring a veteran savviness to the Warriors that is hard to measure. Horford is also miles ahead of Bryant as far as passing and playmaking. So yes, Bryant is an option. But Horford should remain the top Warriors free agent target for now.